I've brought you a very unusual story today. Before we begin, make sure to like and subscribe, and let's get straight into our story. Emma suddenly noticed something strange in the mansion. Her little cousin was trying to escape from where he had been left. She turned around and looked at him, and then she remembered just how loud and troublesome her little cousin could be. Suddenly, a frightening idea came into her mind. 5 minutes later, Emma quietly made her way to the second floor. By then, her little cousin had reached the edge of the swimming pool. Just as he was about to fall in, Emma watched him with a faint smile at the corner of her lips. At that very moment, his mother noticed her son standing dangerously close to the pool. She immediately ran over and grabbed him. Her husband, Robert, also came running. His wife angrily blamed him for being careless and putting their child in danger. Robert, however, calmly explained that he knew he had left the boy in a safe place and had no idea how he had gotten there. No matter how much he tried to explain himself, his wife was too angry to listen. She picked up her son and walked away. But Robert noticed something strange. There was food lying near the edge of the swimming pool. This confused him because he was certain he had placed the food somewhere else. He also noticed that a door had been left open. That evening, the family sat down for dinner. Emma was well liked by everyone in the family, but the strange incidents from earlier that day still bothered them. When her aunt got up from the table, Emma asked what had happened to her. Robert quickly answered that everything was fine. However, Emma's direct question made Robert suspicious. The next morning, as Emma was getting ready for school, her aunt told her that Robert had arranged for her to attend a new school. Emma immediately realized that something was wrong. Robert had started to suspect her. Although she wasn't happy about the change, Emma tried to look excited and pretended to be pleased with the news. But her problems didn't end there. When she arrived in class, the teacher introduced a new student. As soon as the new girl sat beside Emma, all of her attention seemed to be focused on Emma. This made Emma uncomfortable and confused. Later, during dance class, Emma was performing some very difficult movements. Because of this, the teacher asked her to switch places with another student. The girl who had been sitting nearby immediately became angry. She was supposed to compete for the position of dance captain, and she wasn't going to let this replacement student ruin her plans. The more she thought about it, the angrier she became. When dance class ended, the replacement student said goodbye to the others. Emma had to pretend to be happy, but seeing the situation gave her another idea. The following day, Emma went to the replacement student's house. When she saw the poor dog, her eyes filled with determination. She took the dog away from the house and pulled out a knife she had stolen from home. That beautiful dog became her first victim. But Emma hadn't expected Robert to find the knife while he was organizing some things. It was obvious that the knife belonged to him. Robert confronted Emma and told her that, because of her academic success, he had decided to transfer her to another school. He told her that the new school had beautiful surroundings and many excellent teachers. He even told her that she could live there. Emma wasn't happy about the idea at all. She didn't want to leave. But she once again pretended to be excited and told Robert how happy she was about the opportunity. When she returned to her bedroom, Emma discovered that Robert had taken the knife. She immediately understood that things were becoming dangerous for her. But getting angry wasn't her strategy. While pretending to be calm in the bathroom, Emma quickly came up with another plan. That night, she quietly went upstairs to the second floor. She opened the curtains and watched Robert working on his car. The next day, Emma was cutting vegetables in the kitchen while Robert was preparing the food. Just as he finished cooking, he received a phone call. He quickly told Emma to take over for him. Emma wasn't going to waste such an opportunity. She poured a large amount of oil into the pan. As the oil began heating up, she prepared for the next part of her plan. Then she turned up the heat. When her aunt realized that something was wrong, Robert was already rushing into the kitchen to put out the flames. The situation quickly became chaotic as the fire spread through the kitchen. His wife began blaming Robert for what had happened. Emma, however, acted like a helpful and innocent girl and immediately started helping them put out the fire. She quickly explained that she had only been trying to help. Robert was about to argue with Emma, but her aunt stopped them before things could escalate. At that moment, Robert had no idea that what he had just experienced was only the beginning of Emma's revenge. Later that night, Robert was still working on his car. Emma approached him carrying a drink. At first, she complimented him on his hard work. Then she admitted that she was the one who had stolen the knife. Pretending to regret what she had done, she apologized deeply and acted as though she had made a terrible mistake. Seeing her like this, Robert had little choice but to accept her apology. But he had no idea that this was only the beginning. After Emma left, Robert continued working on his car alone inside the garage. Suddenly, the lights went out. Thinking his wife had come to check on him, he turned around, but nobody was there. Then he saw something move quickly in the darkness. He tried to figure out what it was, but before he could react, the car jack holding his vehicle suddenly gave way. The car came crashing down onto his legs. He felt an unbearable pain. As he slowly drifted in and out of consciousness, he caught a glimpse of Emma. But he couldn't be certain that he had really seen her. Finally, he lost consciousness. Meanwhile, Emma was at a party with one of her classmates. She had carefully arranged everything so that it would appear as though she had spent the entire night at her friend's house. The party continued until her friend's mother suddenly came in and told them that a terrible accident had happened at home. Emma immediately went to the hospital. There, she comforted her aunt. When she heard that Robert had fallen into a coma and suffered severe injuries to both of his legs, Emma became worried. For the next few days, she lived in fear. While trying to calm herself down, she secretly wondered whether Robert might lose consciousness permanently. A faint smile appeared on her face. But after some time, her aunt returned with good news. Thanks to constant medical care, Robert had regained consciousness. When Emma heard this, she was suddenly shocked. Her aunt also told her that Robert would soon be coming home. Emma's anxiety immediately increased. However, things at school were taking a different turn. The replacement dancer had become extremely depressed after the death of her dog. Because her performance was suffering, the teacher asked her to leave the dance team temporarily. This gave Emma a second chance at becoming captain. When the teacher asked who wanted the position, Emma immediately raised her hand. She had been dancing for 2 years, so she believed she could easily win the position. But then she noticed someone standing near the doorway. It was the new student. The girl was staring directly at Emma. After class ended, the new student approached Emma. Emma asked her what was going on, but the girl seemed to know far too much about her. She pointed out that ever since Emma had arrived at the school, people around her had mysteriously started dying. The other students believed those deaths were simply accidents. But the new student suspected that Emma was responsible. She even remembered that after the previous dance candidate's dog died, Emma immediately took her place. The girl demanded that Emma tell her the truth. Emma listened to her accusations and immediately assumed the girl was crazy. After all, how could she possibly tell her the truth? The new student suddenly slapped Emma. Emma immediately pretended to be hurt, causing a male student and the teacher to come to her defense. But Emma wasn't going to forgive her. The next day, during an exam, Emma secretly sent the girl a video containing flashing lights. The moment the student opened it, she collapsed and began having a seizure. She suffered from an inherited seizure disorder, and the flashing video triggered it. Because she didn't receive medical help in time, the girl stopped breathing. Emma pretended to be shocked and worried, successfully hiding what she had done. Soon afterward, the girl's mother arrived with evidence connected to the death of her daughter's dog. Emma's aunt watched the video and was shocked to see Emma taking the dog away. She confronted Emma. At first, Emma denied everything, but when her aunt showed her the evidence, Emma changed her story. She claimed she only wanted to become dance captain and never admitted that she had killed the dog. Her aunt believed her explanation and took her to the girl's grave, where Emma apologized for the dog's death. But Emma's problems were far from over. Her aunt soon told her that Robert was recovering and would be coming home. They had also hired a professional caregiver to look after him. Emma tried to hide her fear. That afternoon, Robert returned home in a wheelchair. Emma watched him carefully, wondering whether he remembered what had happened in the garage. She went downstairs to test him, but Robert acted as if everything was normal. Later, when the caregiver left the pool area, Emma brought Robert a cup of coffee and pretended she had come outside to enjoy the sunshine. After a while, cold wind began blowing. Robert's injured legs were exposed to the cold, so he called Emma and asked her to help him get inside. Emma pretended to be busy on her phone and ignored him. Robert tried to reach his wheelchair himself but suddenly fell into the pool. The caregiver returned and helped him. Emma acted innocent, but she had been testing how helpless Robert really was. That evening, Robert grabbed Emma's hand when she brought him food. He told her that he loved his wife, Emma's aunt, and didn't want to hurt her by exposing what Emma had done. Instead, he offered her a choice. If Emma agreed to leave for a boarding school and give the family some peace, he would remain silent. But if she refused, he would reveal everything. Emma listened quietly. But she had no intention of letting Robert control her. She was already planning her next move. After hearing Robert's threat, Emma pretended to agree to leave for boarding school. But she had no intention of obeying him. She secretly entered her aunt and Robert's room and found the computer. Her aunt had been researching Emma's behavior and studying teenage psychology. Emma took the psychological test herself, and the results revealed signs of a serious mental disorder. Her aunt became suspicious and decided to visit an old friend for answers. Before leaving, she secretly placed a teddy bear with a hidden camera in Emma's room. The man she went to see was the farmer who had shot Emma's father at the beginning of the movie. Emma's aunt wanted to know why he had pointed a gun at his own daughter. The farmer explained that Emma's father had been mentally unstable and had threatened his daughter, leaving him no choice but to shoot him. Meanwhile, Emma discovered the hidden camera and turned it toward the wall. She also learned that the caregiver would soon leave because of the coming rain. Taking advantage of the opportunity, she stole Robert's phone. Emma then put a new plan into action. She invited the new student for coffee and also invited other classmates to avoid suspicion. When the girl arrived, Emma gave her drugged coffee and pretended she was finally ready to tell her the truth. Within minutes, the girl collapsed and became unable to move. Emma immediately called the police and pretended to be terrified, screaming for help. She then took the girl's phone, destroyed the evidence, and placed the girl's fingerprints on a gas canister to make it appear that she had caused the coming fire. But Emma's real target was Robert. She had already spread gasoline throughout the house. When Robert heard the baby crying upstairs, he went to check on him. He didn't know that the crying was actually coming from a phone Emma had placed in the baby's room. By the time Robert realized what was happening, the house was already set up to burn. Emma's aunt returned home and immediately suspected Emma had started the fire. Without wasting time, she rushed inside to save Robert. Emma stayed outside with her little cousin, pretending to be innocent. Inside the burning house, her aunt found Robert unconscious, but the heavy smoke caused her to collapse as well. When the firefighters arrived, Emma continued pretending to be terrified and innocent. Her classmates and neighbors felt sorry for her. They even suggested that another family take care of her. Emma happily agreed. Once again, she had successfully fooled everyone. But the question remains, how long can Emma continue getting away with everything? If you want the next part, comment part 2, and don't forget to like and subscribe.